Alright, so heading on to game number one. Since, okay. Kinda nice that Kavu triggers Halar. We have picked up quite a decent number of kicker spells. So even though this archetype is not really an archetype, there's like two payoffs for kicker matters. Um, it still kind of works most of the time. It's just not a very synergy based deck. Here we might fire Shivan Fire depending on what opponent plays. Yeah, since opponent has played Knight of Grace, we don't care that much about the construct. So we're just gonna... I guess we can hold on to Shivan Fire for a bit. Yeah, it's 5 mana to kick it. Let's just take care of the Knight of Grace now. Can buy it back later anyway. So, looks like Halar is going to be very powerful this game and have a ton of kicker spells. So yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to draw a 3-drop or 4-drop so we can carve out a bit nicely, such as a Juggernaut? Juggernaut would be pretty great here. But yeah, this is why I ended up cutting cards such as the Spider and Urza Stone. I guess this could be kind of a curve out deck. Again, not my preferred strategy in Dominaria, but those were the cards we were dealt. So just attack like this. Maybe Gideon's Reproach. Yeah, kind of annoying. We don't have Gift of Growth to save it, so just takes 4. So next turn we can play the Kavu. So Avon Sentry and passes after attacking probably. So now we actually want to hit our land drops consistently, so we can kick Chronicler and play Thorn Elemental on curve. Anyways, let's play Kavu. Hopefully they don't have a way to cleanly deal with it. Black and blue certainly has to deal with it, so this is not that big of a deal. This is mostly a good card against red decks that really struggle to remove it. They need Fire Intervention or something like that. Not saying it's not good. It's still very good at 5/5, 5 mana, 5/5 Vigilance Trample. So here we have the choice of blocking the Sparring Construct. Kind of tough. I'm not gonna block here. It's gonna take me a while so that I can deal with a buffed up 8th Century. Now that I will buy back Shivan Fire, I would be willing to make that trade. Also, by blocking, he could trade with the Kavu with an Andres Gideon Reproach. But yeah. So we have hit our 6 land drop. Now we can play Kick Chronicler and buy back Shivan Fire. So we have something to do even if we miss our 7th land drop. So just buy back Shivan Fire here and pass turn. So yeah. Let's see, they only have 3 cards in hand. They attack like this. Now I'm gonna block the construct. Now I have a way of potentially dealing with the sentry. And I get to do this without risking the Kavu at all. So I'll make that trade. Another get to Chronicler. That's pretty good news. So let's attack. Let's see what opponent does. I guess if they have Wrath. Yeah, we don't mind if they have Wrath. We can Shivan Fire pre-blocks. So looks like they had nothing. So they can only... Oh, they can even activate the Memorial, so how do we want to do this? We can play Allosaurus and keep up Shivan Fire unkicked, or we can just pass with Shivan Fire kicked. I kind of like the second option a little bit better. Like, I don't want to run into a counterspell, I want to hold on to the Allosaurus for max value. So Gunna's playing a lot of colors, I guess. And stepping out for something, maybe Deep Freeze, okay. That is fine. Certainly manageable. It even becomes a buff blocker. So here I'm just gonna fire off Shivan Fire. If it fails, we can buy it back and do it again next turn. I mean, we can only buy it back, but... Okay, so it works. Now we're in a pretty commanding position in this game. I guess if they have Syncopate, they would probably have spent it there. Having a 4-power flyer is a pretty good way to win the game. So I guess I can play Thorn Elemental with Little Fear here. There also isn't type-specific counter spells in this set, so it's not like he had Essence Scatter and couldn't use it. Counters are basically Syncopate and Wizard's Retort in this format. So hit him for a bid and play Thorn Elemental. Which is gonna be a bit of a thorn on their sides. So, and whatever they play, we can probably kill it with Allosaurus, such as the Sphinx. And they have no possible response for it. So we'll just fight the Sphinx. So, fire off, kick Allosaurus, fight the Sphinx, and hit him for 8. And I don't really see us losing this game at this point. Teddy yeah, that's not enough. So yeah. So moving up. So in silver, you gain 2 ticks per win and lose 1 tick on a loss. So hopefully we'll be getting to gold soon enough. So up against our second opponent, currently 1-0. This hand has a lot of problems. Yeah, since we have no 2 drops to play, if we miss a land drop, we're just gonna ship this. And this looks much better. Guess we'll bottom the land here. We're looking for... Halar would be great in this hand. Wild Onslaught maybe. Or a bummer. Cool, we drew a Goblin, so we don't need to play the Chronicler on turn 2 if the opponent gets aggressive. I always want to hold on to play this kicked, since it's very much a value card. Okay, so they suit up their Prospector on turn 2. Little animation bug there. So we'll just play the Goblin. And if they tap out, we can trade the Animus and a creature for the Goblin. Potentially. Not sure if we're gonna want to do that, as that is 2 for 2. Yeah, now this Goblin is getting a little bit out of hand. We're gonna need removal pretty soon. Although we can jump for a couple turns. So how do we want to do this? We can play Llanowar Elves, Sappered. Yeah, I don't think I want to play the Sappered. If I play the Llanowar Elves, I get the out of drawing Shivan Fire, playing it kicked. So I'll play the Llanowar Elves here. And just pass. The Chronicler doesn't do that much. I don't want to play just chump. We'll have a better chump blocker next turn. In the form of the Sappered. Journey Mage. Not gonna deal any damage. Just another bunny. Ooh, Juggernaut. Does that change our plays? Ooh, Juggernaut is actually a good draw. Because Juggernaut can trade with the Prospector together with Animus. So I think that's gonna be our plan. We could play Sapper, jump with the Sapperling and hope to draw land so we can Juggernaut Animus, or we could play Juggernaut right away. I'm gonna go with the second option, I believe. It feels a little bit riskier because they could sorcery speed removal the Juggernaut, but I guess they don't have too many options to do that. Since they're not at 5 mana, so they're out of Blessed Light or Fire Intervention. So we'll just take another 5 here. Ooh, now that I think of it, 5 is kind of too much. Oh, and I was talking about jumping, but it has Menace. So this is a bad situation. Because any combat trick, such as Run Amok or Adamant Will, beats us. I'm still not gonna block. I don't see us winning this game if we throw away Llanowar Elves and Goblin. So, okay. So first, let's check with Juggernaut. They block. We're gonna Animus Juggernaut on this Prospector. Okay. Trade successful. We're still at 2 life, which is not comfortable. We're not playing Frozen Druid, so we can't gain some life back. But there isn't too much that goes to the face. There's the Journey Mage. At common, I can only think of that. But I still want to end this game in a pretty quick fashion. So let's hit him for a bit here. Yeah, once they get to 5 mana, I guess they're probably holding on to some pretty powerful spells in hand. So play this kicked on the Journey Mage, so we can Chronicler kicked to buy it back. So we have 6 mana, so next turn, in case we draw land, we can play a kicked Allosaurus. Oh, I missed the damage there because I didn't play Chronicler pre-combat. That was a bit of a mistake, no reason not to do it. Yeah. Just a oversight there, so I'm just gonna take Animus plays well with the Allosaurus. We can play it unkicked and Animus. But I guess 4 damage deals with most 5 drops they can play. So let's just take Shivan Fire. Knight of Grace. So we had 3, 5, 6, 7 damage in hand. Opponent concedes. Guess they didn't have too much in hand. But the game was far from won from my point of view. Though obviously we don't know their cards. But yeah. So we're currently 2-0. Pretty good stuff. Again, this is not the deck I tend to play. I tend to play grindier decks. When I play aggro, it's usually something like Wizards. But we just got hooked up with the right red and green cards that we ended up in those colors. And that happens. Sometimes you just get... sometimes two colors are open that aren't really an archetype with much synergy. You just end up in those colors. Nothing wrong with it, usually. Ship that hand, keep this. I like this on the play. This can be pretty okay. 2-drop on top would be ideal, so we can get a nice little curve going, but... I think we're gonna bottom Animus. Both these creatures don't play particularly well with Animus. But yeah, Animus is always a card that underperforms, even though it should be pretty good in this deck. We saw that it was just okay. Ended up being a 2-for-1 most of the time. Though in that case, opponent did have auras, but still. It's not the best removal. I'm still keeping all 3 copies because I just think it plays so well with Halar, and we can definitely play some unbeatable starts with it, with that combination. So opponent opens with Llanowar Elves. Now to get to... Oh, that is a terrible move. So hopefully we don't lose to that, because this just feels so bad. Like, it's only a 3-2 menace, and you're losing your ramp creature potentially. So I don't like this play at all. But still gotta respect it. Let's see what they do from here. This is just so tiny. So Wizard's Lightning, that stops us from blocking them. We're not drawing much. I'm gonna keep the Saproling up so we can threaten to double block. Although we're not necessarily doing it. But definitely attacking with the Saproling would give them a little bit too much leeway for just 1 damage. So yeah, why don't I like this? You probably know, but opponent's just risking a 2-for-1 here, and for very little payoff, as the 3-2 menace really isn't a threat. Especially since we're on the play. We're not getting too pressured at this point by the Llanowar Elf. And I have heard someone tweet that they were seeing this strategy a lot in Arena. I didn't expect this attack. I guess they have mana on their pool, so they can play a combat trick even though they're tapped out. But we'll just threaten to trade with Radha, and that's a trade I'm happy with. So no place. Now we get to try to get him with Spore Swarm. And yeah, again, Thorn Elemental versus this combination, Thorn Elemental is very much a problem. There isn't a single, one card answer to it. as the most damage you can deal with one spell is 5, and green only has fight cards. So yeah, the impulse for Journey Mage, play it for no damage, and yeah, they're tapped out here, so this can only work out in our favor, and that's more than a 2-for-1, as we get to keep a Sapperling, so opponent's plan has kind of backfired at this point. So Sapper's good for continue to holding down the fort until we get our Thorn Elemental down. Just missing one land to play it. Pass here, opponent with 4 cards in hand and not a lot of mana. Yeah. So Elfheim Druid. This is a card we really would like in our deck. Just with all the kicker spells we have, it could definitely help us. Even its normal ramp is already worth it. But yeah, as an uncommon, you will more often than not see it. So no attacks as expected. We could Shiv and Fire the Elfheim Druid. I'm not going to. I don't like that line too much. We're just gonna attack with the Sapper and passive Shiv and Fire up. They opt not to trade the Journey Mage for the Sapper. Pretty okay, as they're the aggressive ones. We're the ones at 11. But our Sapperlings are still holding down the Journey Mage, so that's fine for us. So 5 mana, Song of Freelies. I don't like that at all. So I'm gonna cut them off 1 mana by burning out their Journey Mage. We'll play it kicked, so they can't play Gift of Growth unkicked. If they want to save it with Gift of Growth, they would have to kick it. So now they only have 3 mana available. But Song of Freely is still a bit of a problem, as its third verse can be quite explosive. But we're at a high enough life total that if we play Thorn Elemental, we should be fine. So anyways, we'll attack with everything here, since opponent has no attacking creatures. So they just take 4 here. Not too relevant at this point, but I want to keep their life total as low as possible. If I could potentially put it to 7, that would be ideal. But yeah, anyways, they have 7 kicker mana available. They play Skizix unkicked. Yeah, that's bad. So I'm not gonna block here, as it does have trample. But that's gonna go away since they could not... What? Oh! Yeah, my bad. So they added the second red with the Elfheim Druid. I didn't really see that. So here, since they are gonna gain third verse, I'm gonna play Thorn Elemental, so it can block the Skizix with a counter. I don't think I make any attacks. So if they remove the Thorn Elemental, we can chump the Skizix, then we take 4 from Skizix and 1 from Elfheim Druid, and we're not dead. I'm just gonna attack like that. Although, as I said, they probably can't remove Thorn Elemental. So they give it Menace. So that is a big problem because it does have Indestructible. So we got kind of screwed over for attacking here, because we could just chump it so we would not die to it. Now we have to throw Torn Elemental away. So that ended up backfiring on us. So yeah. Yeah, now we cannot. Yeah. Still have Untamed Kavu, and now their creature isn't indestructible, so less of a problem there. So Blade kicked. And just pass turn. Yeah. But he still needs something. And we can keep attacking with the Kabu, since the only way for them to block is trading Skizix. So I don't hate our position, but they still have a lot of cards in hand, which can be a problem. So they attack with Skizix. So what do we want to play around? So this loses to. I guess we want to beat kicked Gift of Growth. That's a good target. So we want to put 9 power in front of it. Yeah, if we put 9 power in front of it, 7, 8, 9, they can't kick Gift of Growth it. We are throwing away a couple Saprolings and the Sapper for that, but we'll do it to mitigate risk, I think. So yeah, this can be most one-card tricks, such as Shivan Fire or Gift of Growth. So I don't see this turning out too poorly for us. So yeah, we lose a lot of material, but they lose 2 cards. So we're living off the top of our deck at this point. Cards like Halar, Ghetto Chronicler are good draws. But again, they still have a lot of cards in hand. Ooh, that isn't much. So we'll just pass. Did they even have targets for it? I guess they had Wizard's Lightning. So another Ghetto Chronicler. This time kicked, it can get Wizard's Lightning, which is annoying. Actually, very annoying. Really annoying. Now they kind of have. Yeah. They're putting us on a tough spot. So we'll take down Elfheim Druid. Drop to 4. Next turn we'll have to double chump if nothing happens. So Animus is pretty close to nothing. God, I hate this card. So yeah. Yeah, this means we're dead. Yeah, good game, opponent. Oh, let him play. Whatever. So yeah, we go up to 2-1, I believe. Currently 2-1 in our league. Maybe. Yeah, 2-1 in the league. So let's go. I might cut 1 Ancient Animus. We'll leave the 3rd copy right now. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, not a card I prioritize in draft at all. So up on match number 4 here. We are on the play, but yeah, we're color screwed. So we'll just mulligan this, and I'm much happier with this. This hand is gas. Bloodstone Goblin into Halar, into Sapherd. This hand does work. It looks like opponent might also be playing an aggressive game by starting with the Mountain. Yeah, opponent's also on the aggro plan, so we'll have to see how we pair up. And not being the fastest player in the world. So, Love Runner. Still don't know if they're blue-red wizards or something. What are they doing here? Are they gonna run amok? Okay, I guess they did. That's a weird move. Didn't really expect that. I'm just gonna develop my board here. I don't want to Shivan Fire a 1-2 at all. So is this gonna be another Frenzied Rage match? No, just a Journey Mage, okay. So I'm not too comfortable yet, but I should be getting to a comfortable position soon enough. I guess we'll play Sapper down. And just could attack, I guess. Should have done that before, but they're being so aggressive. I'm just gonna pass, because if they Shivan Fire are only 2 power blocker, we will take a lot of unnecessary damage. So let's just hold back for now. Another Journey Mage dealing us a little bit more damage. We drop down to 12, but they should have no attacks here. So now we can play Halar or Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves has the upside of keeping Shivan Fire up, which is pretty relevant in the case they try to Frenzied Rage or Combat Trick. So let's head out with that. Halar isn't particularly amazing in this board. The 2/2s are already keeping the Journey Mages on check. So we'll see what they have. This board is pretty resilient against removal. We're pretty spread out. They're gonna attack, so it looks like they might have something. So just block, like, once they cast an instant, it's gonna be a 2/2. So let's just block like this. Oh, they don't have anything. That's very unexpected. We'll take one. Make a double trade and head on to my turn. Guess we'll keep playing the board at this point. Guess they might have Skizix, but Skizix costs 5 mana to leave it on the board, so I'm not too worried about that at this point, so we'll just take our chance to develop here. Holding on to Halar until I have like double red, so I can Halar Shivan Fire. Rather just put the Juggernaut down at this turn. So looks like they're blue-red. They have found their blue source at this point, so they gain access to a few more spells. So that's gonna take care of Llanowar Elves and even deal us some damage. This is real trade down. I guess I don't have to take it. Now I can play Animus. Or hold on to Animus for Halar. But I can't really play Halar, so let's just Animus now. Hit him for a bunch. I guess this game could go either way at this point. Still have some tricks up our sleeve. So do they play Sphinx or the bounce mage here? Fire intervention? Deep freeze, okay. Good thing now this can block. Also it looks pretty cool as a blue artifact. It even gets the artifact frame with the blue color. It looks cool. It looks like um, cards such as Ethereum Sculptor, I think it's called. So they play Fire Elemental. If we draw land, we can just kill it. We don't. So we'll just separate and pass. If they attack, we'll chump block with the Juggernaut. No pain there. Six mana, 2 cards. Chronicler Kick, it's gonna buy back what? Venomok? Or Radiant Lightning? Radiant Lightning. It doesn't stop blocks, does it? It doesn't. It just pings creatures, but it is a lot of damage. They don't attack. They don't attack. Guess we can keep Wild Onslaught up to counter Radiant Lightning. We can do that or play the Envoy. Playing Envoy, keeping Shiv and Fire up. Once they Radiant Lightning, it's gonna be a little bit tough to block the Chronicler. Wild Onslaught doesn't do enough for me here, so we'll just pass. Play the Envoy and pass. So that's the last card we didn't know about, so now I feel kind of comfortable. I feel pretty comfortable, even though I'm dropping down to 3 life, so I'm dead to another Radiant Lightning, Chronicler, Wizard's Lightning. But I really like it when my opponent has no cards in hand, so I don't mind this too much. Tap land is not what we wanted at this point. Could start getting aggressive. We can attack with Llanowar Envoy and Halar. Maybe just the Envoy here, and if they block, we have Onslaught. That allows us to keep the Halar untouched. And we do want to start chipping at our opponent's life total. Next turn we can make some pretty impactful plays by playing Shiv and Fire Kick, triggering Halar, making it a 4/4, dealing 1. Should be a big turn. So opponent opts to just take 3. Don't want to deal with our trickery. Yeah. So here we're really weighing between staying safe and closing this game out as soon as possible. We're dropping down 1 life, definitely not comfortable. They just pass. So here's gonna be our aggressive line. We Wild Onslaught right now. to be mana efficient. Then, how do attacks look? Also pretty annoying that I can't get to Chronicler. Very annoying. So if I attack with Halar, they don't block. I can Shivan Fire this. We'll have enough blockers. If we attack with everything, we force a block. We can also play Chronicler Unkicked and Shivan Fire Unkicked. Just something to be mindful of. Oh, also, Halar gaining a counter raises its damage. Anyways, let's attack with just Halar. This is safe, and I think it can set up for a next turn lethal. I'm gonna kick it right now to maximize damage, I believe. So, kill off Fire Elemental, deal 2, then deal 5. A lot of damage. So since Halar has Trample, we're asking some pretty tough questions next turn. Funny that we have such a buff blocker in the form of Juggernaut, which usually cannot block. Here, how do I feel? First, let's see if there's any lag. I don't know if there was a little bit of lag between switching phases. Is this lethal if they don't have anything? You can block like this and then they're not dead. I guess we have enough blockers in hand. We can play 2 blockers, so we should be safe here against most plays. So yeah, after that we should play the Allosaurus Unkicked. It depends on how the board looks, but they should lose all their creatures if they have nothing and drop down to 2. That's the expected outcome here. They have nothing. So how do we want to do this? We're in danger of Skizik. I'll just play the Allosaurus here. Don't think it does no favors for us keeping this up. So they do have a counter spell. Now I have some options. Skizzix is a 5/3, correct? So Skizzix is a 5/3. That is the only relevant haste creature, so I guess Juggernaut can deal with pretty much whatever hasty creature they throw at us, so we'll just pass. Okay, and that is a good game. So we're up to 3-1, I believe, in our lead. So stay tuned for more games.